This was the one I won 4th game. I won 4th series.
Yeah, and Ben didn't care at all. So
yeah.
Yanni's got his pick.
Damn
so
right.
we're going to do TNC versus Infamous. The draft is already underway. And I don't know, looking at it, I'm kind of. Hopefully you'll be looking at it too soon.
It's similar to kind of what you see, but there is a hero left in the open. There is a hero that it's not banned or picked just yet that I think we see every single game. It is.
I think we had a little bit of a preemptive audio cue in last game about Underlord.
I think we did. I don't know.
maybe somebody just knew that we were going to have an Underlord in this game for Infamous. Infamous is probably, what do you think? Where do you rate them right now when it comes to the Americas region as a whole?
I haven't really gotten a chance to see them play all that often, but with their performance that they had earlier today, they clean 2-0 sweeped Ukraine. That's pretty impressive. Like these guys too, I've known Benjas for quite a while. I know of Stinger and Excel a little bit, but these guys are all incredibly individually talented, as well as King Tekka. Like people playing in pubs and like NA and stuff, they see these names and you know them, you know who they are. They're good. They're good players. These guys understand how to play. When you put them together, they've been playing for the most part together for quite a while. A lot of these guys known each other for forever.
I thought King Tekka was probably the one of the most impressive recent standout players from the region. I don't know how long he's been around, but when I first saw him, I was just like, damn, like that guy's a beast. That guy's a really good offlaner. So we'll see how he fares here. Infamous choosing a little bit of a different approach. In fact, both teams going for it. Starter opening, pretty standard, I would say. Nice versatile hero. Undying Weaver, which I actually like this opening with Weaver, maybe a little bit better. Undying's not a traditional 1-2, but it does shore up your lanes quite a bit, and I think that was an important thing that we talked about in the last series.
Absolutely.
Was the fact that picking up a Weaver really does hurt your potential laning phase when you're going to be running it as a support. TNC, though, going for the second pick, Darkseer, meaning we could have some sort of dual lane shenanigans, but why Darkseer specifically here? I mean, Weaver should be able to do with it pretty well if they're going to be running some sort of, let's say, dual off lane Weaver with him as a core. If it's a support, it's okay too.
Let's just be like the thing, like the way VP was just like the idea with the Slardar. They need something to just kind of give him that inspiration, kind of like buff up thing with like the Darkseer. You can surge him, you Ion Shell him. You don't really need the Blink Dagger. You enable him to get involved earlier on. Right. Might just be their comfort picks. It's also aggressive. You're putting pressure right away in the early game. Like start right off the bat, double Ion Shell. You're running at them, trying to cause that to happen. But other than that, Mech Carrier, Darkseer, heavy armor as well versus Weaver. Might be some significance to that.
They've got some significant potential wombo combo here with the Darkseer. Vacuum into a Crush. We'll have to see. And they should have very strong laning phase as well, right? So we should be able to get that quick mech, presumably getting a relatively fast Blink Dagger sometime after that for both of these heroes. So initiation's going to be strong, and it's going to be good versus Weaver, simply because of the fact that it's AoE and not single target. So unlikely, you think, that Weaver can be a core, leaning more towards support right now?
I think it could be possible. This could be the dual lane right here, right? An offlane dual lane, something like that kind of potential. I think it's possible. I think it's still very open-ended. They have a lot to decide on. If there's not a lot of disable, that's when you decide, this could be more of a core Weaver from the side of TNC, but we'll see what they actually go for. The one thing I don't really like from this opener from TNC is because this pretty much this is what they're doing. You can't really vary from this.
Yes.
Like, safe lane Slardar is a thing of the past, it seems. Nobody's really been running it at all. Maybe unless it's put in a 1v1 situation, sure. But for the most part, this is going to be your dual lane that you're seeing coming out. So it does kind of give some stuff away. And TNC learning. These are two heroes that Infamous really likes, and that actually the Peruvians, I think, really like in general. The Viper and the Abaddon, these hardcore lane dominators, just massive sustain and just, what people call obnoxious. Like, you don't want to play versus these things. They just tilt you right from when they pick it.
For sure. I think, when I think Viper is easily one of the heroes that I think, comes out of the South American region quite a bit. It's like, because I think traditionally lane dominators are very much favored by the Peruvian squads. Juggernaut going to be the third pickup here by Infamous. TNC going to go ahead and pick up a very defensive hero and Dazzle. More minus armor as well. Potentially plus armor if they want to use it that way. But they've got Slaughter, Amplify, as well as Weave. Crystal Maiden is pretty quick pickup here, but it works really well with this lineup so far, right?
Yeah, I mean, Crystal Maiden works really well with lots, but yeah, with the Undying specifically in the laning phase and the Weaver in the laning phase, it's incredible. And versus the Juggernaut, since he, more than likely he's going to be paired versus Darkseer Ion Shells, he's able to at least get a little bit more sustain and stuff because he's going to have to use Healing Ward, and Healing Ward's mana cost is pretty ridiculous at 140, really hurting Jug's mana pool. So
there was no support that would actually be able to stop this Slardar Darkseer, right? So better to just be able to give that sustain option and maybe use a little bit of neutraling and stuff like that. Maybe
biting the Ion Shell creep, to kind of push it out too in a way. Maybe that's something they could be thinking about, but more so for the aura. I mean, it's a safe hero pick. I don't think it's been seeing too much, like a crazy amount of play or anything, but it's just a safe support that's always going to work, kind of like a Rubik kind of essence.
Do you think Oracle's ever going to come back, or is that mana cost just too heavy? And I'm talking specifically against Darkseer, because obviously it is definitely not in vogue, and I think the only time we could see it is against some of these Darkseer off lanes.
You're so ulti dependent, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're versus a Bat Rider, it's like, okay, you know your job and stuff, but one or two bad false promises from an Oracle can just kind of like lose you the games too. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that hero will really make a comeback until he gets a couple changes, because he got nerfed a little bit too much on all of his mana cost changes.
All right, so we got a lot of minus armor. We see our support combinations. You looking for our carry now? Leave the last pick mid, or, well, I guess we don't know what the mid is from Infamous just yet, right? Juggernaut presumably should be safe lane against the Darkseer combination. Weaver Undying, as we already talked about, is an aggro dual lane. So leave the mid for last, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think what TNC could be going for here. See.
Are you opposed to a Sven at the big buff up of armor? Oh.
That one I would not have expected, actually, at all.
I don't think anybody would have expected, but it does kind of fit the bill, right? I think you needed a little bit of sustain here, and now you've got heavy lockdown versus both Juggernaut and Weaver. Both of those heroes would have been exposed to any sort of like really strong disables, such as like Axe Call or something.
Yeah. They don't have a Tombstone killer yet. That's the one thing that's a little bit concerning. It's not like Tombstone's like this whole godly thing anymore. It's gotten heavily nerfed in several times, but if you have all melee, it can be pretty detrimental, especially if you're under Swarm too. A lot of different things that can really hurt you, but the Legion Commander pick, like you said, the extra lockdown versus the Weaver and the Juggernaut. If the Juggernaut's spinning, you can taunt and everything. I think TNC just really likes this hero too. Pairs well with the Dazzle, because if you grave him, and if you're gonna lose a duel, you're not gonna lose a duel anymore. You're graved. It's a very nice little interaction with that. If it is in a bad situation or in a good situation, you're at 1 HP and you turn the duel around because of that. Can be pretty cool.
So, are you wanting a range hero for our last pick? No. So maybe like a Quap or something like that, a little bit more tempo control-y, that also has decent attack speed for that Tombstone you talked about.
I was thinking
Quap. Picking into CM, though.
Yeah, but you have the Purge at least from the Legion, right? You can press the attack off the bite.
Yeah.
It gives you a nice like wombo combo, but it does make your lineup very mid-gamey, like all-in versus a Jug Weaver. Eventually, you're not gonna be able to fight. Like if it gets to that point later on with a Quap, even the Quap though with Blade Mail and stuff in Legion, I guess maybe they could. Like I think the Quap's pretty good. Raven likes that hero a lot too, right? But
the OD instead. OD versus Juggernaut. Another potential saving hero. A lot of emphasis on save here between the Dazzle and the OD. And that does make sense, right? Infamous are looking pretty single target focused between the Jug Weaver and our yet to be determined third core.
10 seconds.
I think they just wanted like a safe mid hero. They have now they have this like cool Dazzle OD combo thing with the Shadow Wave and the Essence Aura. So if they do ever get to like a position where they can push, they can just constantly they'll have full mana. The sustain is pretty ridiculous.
I can't say I'm terribly surprised by this, but it looks like Infamous are definitely going to be taking we're going to dominate the lanes, and then we're going to try and roll from there into a strong mid-game focus, while TNC is going to be a little bit more defensive in style and will have scale. Almost guaranteed better scaling than Infamous, I think, at this point.
How's Ember here for Infamous? It's okay versus OD and laning. I guess it's not that great versus OD and laning phase, but they don't have...
I would be scared of Slardar and Legion. But I don't know what's better.
I was thinking TI, but I didn't really like it too much versus this lineup because they already have the Darkseer.
Yeah,
So they have like
and they have a double
melees.
Darkseer combination.
Yeah.
So there's presumably always going to be 2 Ion Shells out there.
I guess that's pretty much just for the lane. You said lanes. Infamous is very heavily emphasizing on the laning phase that you can Weaver Undying, top lane, Jug CM, safe lane, TA mid versus the OD. TNC doesn't really have rotating heroes either, so we'll see how it really works out for them. It's an interesting pick. We'll see if the TA works versus this whole Darkseer double Ion Shell potential versus him. It's gonna be a hard TA game unless he gets unless he just dominates this laning phase. So we'll see how it works.
Did you see at ESL? Did you see the Darkseer Riki combination that was run? I would say in a little bit different way, where they would actually, traditional Darkseer +1 combination, really disrupted everything. But once they were met with a matchup, they couldn't actually exploit too much. And when it came to laning phase, what would happen is Riki would run down there, given the Ion Shell and the Surge, and he would TP to the safe lane, and then he would go gank, right? You could kind of do something like this with the Slordar, right? And you can do a little bit of movement with CM as well, but that's kind of the extent.
Yeah.
To our, we're going to have very solidified lanes, most likely.
For sure, in this one.
So
maybe we'll see like some responses in case, like if something goes terribly wrong, then we'll see some responses come out. But so King Tekka Weaver, Benjaz Jug, we've Stinger Undying, Excel on the CM end, the man himself in the mid lane.
You favoring a certain team here based on drafts? I think I like TNC a little bit more. I
think
like
so too.
I like the Legion Commander choice here as a safe laner and the scaling mid, because we knew they were going to be dealing with an aggro dual lane that was coming out. Kind of the way we saw from Team Romania, right? In their second game, they said, whoa, we got to actually make sure we win our lanes first before we go anywhere, right? So being able to pick up that 4th pickaxe that actually happened to be really good lockdown versus, again, a Weaver, but also some of those other heroes, I think it's very similar. And it kind of covers some of the weaknesses in the draft that were being exposed by Infamous's very aggressive picks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was wondering what that music was. I was like,
I
muted my music.
can't hear anything.
I'm hearing some music going on, but it's all good. But yeah, I think I'm favoring the TNC. Not that heavily though. Like Infamous, if they come out and if their lanes go evenly, or if they come out ahead in the lanes, it's going to be a completely different situation. But TNC does have at least some Roche potential and everything, and they have mixed damage as well in their lineup with the OD last pick. So I think that's kind of what they were trying to change up with that last pick, just having mixed damage rather than emphasizing so heavily on physical, because they pretty much only had physical till this OD pick.
Some early movement here by TNC like this. Some nice, very aggressive wards. I feel like the smoke push-outs have become way more important in 7.0, just because I feel like your warding game is a little bit less. I think there was a lot more opportunities for various wards. But now I feel like there are only a few spots, unless you actually go for the smoke early TP out and get ahead of the curve.
Especially if you want to do a type of dual aggro, right?
Yeah.
You definitely want to be able to emphasize on blocking the pull if you want to do that. So that's what they did right away. Double TP, and they even get a vision ward too. So I think it's like you said, yeah. I think it's gotten much more important, and most teams are doing it more. But I do see a lot of teams still hesitate to really do so. If it's a safe lane, tri-lane and stuff, you don't really have to as much, but if you are going for some contestation, then you definitely want to.
I feel pretty good about TNC's lanes, even though they're supposed to be pressured by this Undying Weaver. I think Legion Commander is probably one of the better laning cores to be able to deal with this, and then he's got a Dazzle backing him up, so that's going to feel pretty good.
Kuku getting pressured, kind of hard. Yeah. They've got another Decay and a Shikuchi, but they're not going to dive him.
No way. So we will see TNC fall into their dual lanes to match up against Infamous, Darkseer, and Slordar. I'm wondering if Excel is going to do what you were talking about earlier and go for the Frostbite.
Yeah, let's see. Does he wait to see it?
I don't think Jug necessarily wants to have to spin every single wave, right? So
I think you bite one of them. I think that's definitely the play. It's what Puppy and Pilot Die used to do when they used to play the CM in these lanes.
Right.
But it looks like he's just holding on to it. He doesn't want to. So not what we thought.
Taking that extra step doesn't even get the poor man's shield out of it. Takes a lot of harassment damage. And he's going to be forced to burn his healing salve here. Playing quite the dangerous game trying to keep his healing salve alive while also still claiming CS.
Stinger's got, I think, 2 or 3 double decays coming out already. They need to definitely emphasize that they don't get hit by double decays. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
He missed that one.
A little bit of whiff there. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Excel is trying to use the Frostbite to be able to pick up this neutral, pulls it to left-hand side, but thanks to this aggressive ward, Tims does see it and does manage to share some of the experience, which is important, right? That level 2 is not just affecting this lane; it's going to be affecting the Undying spam.
I think he should have. I think he should have crushed there to break the clarity, right? Because CM had a clarity going, and he was frostbitten right next to him, and he didn't crush. He just stood there and watched him and let the clarity continue. And that was the only mana regen he had on him, so.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's just small things.
Him not being able to get level 2 right away, but
yeah, small things though add up in laning phase.
Yeah, for sure. It always feels good once you get CM level 2 though, and you get that. Ever since they added the self regen,
dude, it's amazing.
You're just like, oh,
the double mana regen, so good.
Both these teams actually do have mana for days because on the other side we have an OD for TNC. Man, the change up of the bounty runes and then also an actual rune always freaks me out when I have all these pop-ups on the left-hand side. And I'm just like, oh, God, did I miss a kill? What's happening?
It's like, dire structures fortified, bounty rune, courier has been killed.
Bounty rune, bounty rune.
What's going on?
Regen runes.
Does make it a little bit harder, for sure.
All right, so looks like, damn.
I think it's very even.
Infamous is doing a bit better when it comes to CS. Cuckoo. Yeah, he just wants to battle this one out. Looks like King Tekka is going to try and take his chances here. Actually has a Fairy Fire, bounces himself away. A Fairy Fire counter, but it's not good enough. Cuckoo.
Double.
He manages to actually get the proc on Moment of Courage. Meanwhile, support kills support. Rior does manage to kill Stinger. Bottom lane, they're going to charge out for the support. 3 early kills for TNC. Considering we were talking about how Infamous is looking at their laning phase, trying to win that as hard as possible, we are looking at a very poor start for the Peruvians. Nice dodge there. Benjes doesn't get hit by the crush. And they actually are going to be able to get Tims here. Unless the surge. No. The extra bit of nuke comes out from Excel. That heavy Crystal Nova damage will be enough.
Dropping 3 kills, though. That off lane, that's not really what you would expect, right? Undying Weaver with no sentry wards in the lane, losing to Dazzle.
Yeah.
Dazzle Legion Commander.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, the moment I saw King Tekka push out like that, I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's the right choice. He just made the slight wrong read.
Yeah, he finished his magic stick too, or his magic wand. He doesn't have like a ring of protection to build into a Bassi. He doesn't have like Blightstone out early or anything, so
yeah.
The armor definitely adds up.
It's the missing Blightstone that really confuses me because I feel like that the physical damage is already so good on the Weaver, and then you add in the fact that they're going to be missing HP, it just feels like that minus armor is going to be all the more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. With the decay, it definitely makes the minus armor even better. Sam H, I'm already picking up Arcane Boots, 4 minutes on the Starkseer. Very good farm on him.
Tims, bop, takes down that healing ward and does fake out, forcing out a spin from Benjes, so maybe they can get aggressive once again in this bottom lane. Excel looking for an opportunity to try and catch the OD, but it seems very unlikely with the setup, especially with the illusions of the Slardar occupying the shrine.
These two guys mid are actually extremely even. Like the way that they play the lane too, it's really funny actually watching this like interaction between the two of them, like stopping their attacks for the same like last hit over and over and over again, and you, like looking at the last hits, it's pretty damn even. Couple ahead on the TA, but that'll happen once he gets his level 5 with level 3 refraction.
Right. I like how many denies they both have.
Right? It's crazy because he's using obviously the side blade deny with the refraction so you don't use the charges, while Raven's using the astral to deny when the TA is put under. But now he's getting pressured a bit by the right clicks with the boots, but he should be fine. He's got his bottle and his boots as well.
Bottom lane looks like Undying has given up on trying to help out King Tekka, and I think that's for the best. They realized perhaps a bit too late that they can't actually do much. Oh, the Imprison into an attempt here by the Slardar to make the rotation. He's going to be a little bit late, but it looks like he should be able to still hit the crush with the extra Ion Shell damage. They quickly eat through that, but it may not be enough. Raven's going to go down here in a second, unless the Surge and the Zombies, they're going to be dodged out. Meanwhile, TA should be fine. They run down river. Tim's is going to be caught by a trap, it looks like, and they will have the mana in a second. Frostbite goes down. They'll get that kill. Sam H, meanwhile, has come down the river to try and put some pressure on these heroes, but unfortunately, doesn't really have enough to be able to catch anybody here. Forces back the Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin is just burning here.
He's just
Sam
getting
H
walked
actually going
down.
to be able to get this kill. Jesus. Refraction, not good enough. What a sloppy play there.
Oh my god, and now the
Sam
Undying.
H, what a beast.
Oh, he's out of mana.
He runs out of Ion Shell, but he has it into second. He had just a little bit more mana, but didn't want to take that one. Shrine goes up. Excel trying to battle up against Raven. Raven underneath the Shrine. Not a good place to be. Now going to be caught by benches, it looks like. Spun out. Excel gets the Frostbite. And an Imprisoment's going to go down, but they should still be able to just right-click him. As I don't think he's fast enough. Rior, Shallow Grave, ready to go. Never mind. We're all good. Slardar's
my
going to
god,
come
3
back. It's going to
HP.
be Excel that actually dies.
Oh.
Wow, I can't believe Rior held onto that Shallow Grave like that.
Very close to the CM getting that kill. I think he hesitated a little bit, though. He was on the Shrine, and Ben just started TPing in on the Jug, and he started like kind of running away rather than manning up on the OD, when there's no way the OD kills him on top of a Shrine there when he's healing. So a little bit of a misplay there again.
It's funny how you talked about the mid matchup. They're so similar, and now we just see these two teams in that whole entire mid lane engagement. Very similar play style. All of them trying to push for that extra bit, thinking they're going to be able to outplay their opponents. Infamous. Oh, they're trying for this one. Templar Assassin goes into Raven, but not really good enough. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Sam H drops quite low, but Ben just not having the mana to be able to finish him off.
King Tech is doing great, though.
Yeah,
after the Undying left, he actually was doing it way better.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe they should have just played it less aggressive, because it's not like Undying can just go safe lane right away anyway. But
yeah,
there was no way they could actually beat a Legion Commander and Dazzle. I don't believe.
I think they just jumped the gun. Like once they have like their level 3, that lane is so much stronger than the Legion Commander Dazzle. Like Weaver with Bugs, Shikuchi, you have Tombstone, or if you want the K with double level and Soul Rip, definitely stronger.
They probably got into that mindset, you know, like the Undying mindset where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to win my lane. I'm supposed to win my lane. Why haven't we killed anything?
Yeah.
And you just get a little bit over anxious.
It could have also been like a lot. I didn't see the beginning of how that all. Maybe a couple moment of courage projects. I know moment of courage procs. I know I saw like 2 of them in the man fight. So
nice deny there. On the wards, King Tekka being left completely alone, but at the same time the bottom lane kind of being abandoned until now. Multiple TPs are going to come in. Excel on one side trying to make sure that they are going to be able to get some sort of catch. Doesn't go for the body block, doesn't want to risk it. Benches is almost there for the Omni Slash, trying to slow him down with the Tombstone even, but it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, he will be able to just slither away. And that bit of aggression not quite punished by Infamous.
yeah, a couple ports in, they almost get the kill. I think Excel again there. I think he could have manned up a little bit harder. I think he like was scared that he was going to die or something rather than going for that. So like small mistakes though are definitely going to start that up.
Nuke comes out. They're going to be able to get this call, but are they going to try for the duel? That's a bad idea. Cuckoo is going to be caught as the 2 supports come around. They are going to try and man up. There goes the duel. They're going to try and turn on the Templar Assassin, and they will be able to win it. Cuckoo may not even die. He's going to go straight for Excel, but there's a TP in. Weaver's going to try and look to punish this one. Runs over Cuckoo, turns around, gets off the bug. Should be enough damage. Left-hand side, Stinger barely surviving. Not going to be enough for that nuke. Looks like Cuckoo is still alive here. Managed to get off yet another press the attack, and King Tekka looking to be able to run him down deep inside the jungle, but now a surge comes out. Oh no, Cuckoo's going to be able to escape, and King Tekka's rotation, it just doesn't work out at all. He chases down a hero so deep, and now he's going to be caught. Has to use the time lapse, helped out from Benjes. Is going to be able to get that one kill. Rior's up next, has a spin on top of him, managed to get off the Shallow Grave, and King Tekka is going to try and claim this last hit. Rior doesn't actually have enough mana, so he'll just simply die to that one real quick. Cuckoo not even wasting any time. It looks like he maybe used like a base shrine or something. And TP's back to lane immediately, looking to help out his allies. High action here as we're going to be able to get another opportunity
Non-stop
for a duel. They're going to go for the imprisonment. The CM is going to be TPing in, trying to counter this one as best as possible. But our Templar Assassin, especially with Darkseer coming in, looking bad. But now Baby Weaver with a double damage. They can take out Raven. He gets off the imprisonment. They're going to look towards Sam H, push him back. Oh no, King Tekka! He just got knocked down! Oh my god, they just get obliterated by Cuckoo. And then the pop out of the imprisonment, they were so focused on killing the OD that TNC turns the whole entire engagement with one big nuke from our Legion Commander.
The Veil with the Astral and the Legion Commander nuke actually did so much damage in that.
Yeah, that was...
They completely, like, I think they just, like, forgot it does damage when you come out. Because it's 325 buff by an Astral. Look, 981 by the Legion there, 997 by the OD. Barely even getting too many auto attacks off. That's just, like, 2 nukes.
Yeah. Man, that double damage almost allowed them to be able to kill that OD finally. And I feel like that OD hasn't actually been dying at all.
Yeah, the CM got the kill on him that time.
1 and 2.
Oh.
That's pretty rough.
Action pack though, 5 to 10.
Yeah, 11 minutes in, 15 kills in total, and plenty of fights where we've almost seen a kill go the way of somebody. Doesn't quite happen. Tims, this is not going to be an almost kill. It's looking like Stinger is going to be run down by multiple heroes, hoping to be able to just get a little bit of heal and survive until his allies are there, but not quite in time. TNC will continue to keep up the pressure. Benches has kept this Tier 1 tower alive for quite a long time, but maybe it's time to give up on it. Goes for the spin. Tims, once again,
he didn't TP out. I thought he was going to TP out.
I thought he was going to as well. Maybe he's hoping his allies are going to TP for him, but there's just nothing happening here. Vacuum goes off. Omni Slash almost finishing off Sam H. The procs. Oh, it was so good staying on Sam H like that, but it still was not enough to be able to get the job done.
Did nobody have TPs? I think they all had TPs. What's going on?
I have no idea.
CM had a TP. Weaver had a TP. They just, like, left Benjas to die.
Yeah, Benjas just got mega ditched. There is no way he turns and fights like that.
I don't know. I really thought that he was just going to spin TP out.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
Not this time, it seems. 5 to 12. 12 minutes in. Infamous. 500 experience lead. TNC holding a bit more when it comes to gold. Part of that's got to be the fact they've left King Tekka. Oh, King Tekka
gets dueled.
He just got snatched up. Cuckoo's going to be able to get the duel off, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. And that is actually time-lapse that fully heals him. So even worse, Raven's here with an invis. Too bad they don't have that duel anymore. But maybe they can still catch him. Excel, he's going to try and help out his ally. Big nuke goes down. Excel is going to be the first one down. King Tekka may not have his ultimate, but he does have enough time to get off another Shukuchi. Now here comes Stinger. Doesn't manage to get anything off besides that tombstone. They're going to try and turn and kill the tombstone real quickly. He can actually try and heal him up. Doesn't actually get it off in time. He's just beating Raven with face, but the Shallow Grave goes down, and now they run themselves away. Once again, the saving grace of TNC comes to play in these very chaotic team fights. Cuckoo coming forward here. Doesn't have the duel just yet. Does have a big nuke in 2 seconds' time, and they just caught Stinger. They're going to try and go for it here. Pops the looking for it. Not deciding he gets the duel. Benches with a big time spin is actually doing a lot. King Tag on the right-hand side. Oh, gets popped by Raven's big ultimate. And now Benches is still looking at these heroes, and they're so damn low. Cuckoo again barely survives. Stinger's going to pay for that one. Gets imprisoned up and will be dead on arrival.
I think there's some miscommunication going on the side of Infamous. Yeah. They're going for different targets. They're a couple missed spell usages as well. Just seems like they're not coordinating as well as they have been in the last few games that they were playing. But it's still not like that much of a detriment. But these mistakes are definitely adding up. Now it's getting to a 2,500 gold lead for TNC, and they're bringing the fight every single time. They're bringing the fight to Infamous.
All right, Cuckoo, you survived so many times when you shouldn't have. This time around, you're definitely dead. Gets caught in the river. Combination of TA and Crystal Maiden makes short work of that hero, but he's already pretty far ahead. He's currently sitting third in net worth, not too far behind the Templar Assassin, has a phase boots as well as armlet.
I like the armlet build.
Yeah.
I think maybe this game... No, he's got the Slaughter farming, so yeah, the Blink Dagger's going to come after the Slaughter anyway, so the armlet's good.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need the initiation, right? Just better fighting power.
Yeah, some damage and some more armor and stuff versus the TA, and then you can actually get your own solo pickoffs with the with your duel rather than absolutely needing somebody else with this build.
Yeah,
nice
especially with the setup that we're seeing. Like he can surge in. We're gonna have the Blink Dagger soon on Slardar. We have the imprisonment that's been set up for Cuckoo a couple times. In fact, Stinger may be victim to that exact combination if he's not careful. Though pretty sure he's okay if he has an Undying is going to be gone on deep underneath his Tier 1 tower. He'll be hoping his allies Going to be here, yeah. 1-1-4 build, heavily built around the Tombstone. Templar Assassin hiding near the shrine is going to pop himself out. This shrine is not up yet, so Infamous, they're going to need mass TPs here, but unfortunately their allies running themselves away. Duel goes down, Tims is dropped low, but it looks like they just really can't fight this one unless maybe King Tech can go for one. Tims almost gets died, but will manage to have the Shallow Grave go out. Big time decay coming out from Stinger. They're going to try and chase down some of these heroes. Looks like Rio is going to be up next. Surge goes down and pops the Shrine. King Tekka looking to battle through 3 of these heroes. Is going to bounce himself away. Meanwhile, the OD, Templar Assassin, picks him apart. And King Tekka is just staying in TNC's face, knowing that the rest of his allies are about to back him up. It looks like they're finally going to be able to get the team fight they were searching for all along. Infamous pop another one. They're going to try and catch Sam H. Surge downward, running away from his poor Legion Commander. Will be able to get back to base. Sam H, though, not. Oh my god, he actually died. He armlet toggled. What? And he died to the bug.
No, King Tekka dove him, didn't he? The armlet toggled?
I mean, he was way out here. I didn't see. I was following the Sam H.
I think King Tekka dove and then he time-lapsed out. Yeah.
Damn. All right, King Tekka picking up that extra kill.
I was like, no way.
I can't believe Sam H was the one who lived there.
Yeah, he got out. That was a sick little juke, though. You saw what he did with the Surge?
Yeah.
Surge like ran to the right into the trees and then cut down right away. So the TA actually blinks there, assuming he was there. But still, excellent situation there for Infamous. It looked like it wasn't the greatest because the Templar Assassin kind of like misplayed. They didn't have any reveal for him, and he jumped out of his meld there. But beautiful tombstone coming out from Stinger on the high ground there. They had like 8 zombies on each person. They're able to chase them all the way to their tier 2s and net themselves several kills and completely recover the small deficit they were at. Now they're at a 1,000 gold lead from that 2,000 gold deficit.
How is TA top of the net worth?
He bought back there too.
Well, yeah, wasn't this guy just getting destroyed in lane from all these rotations?
He got
1, 4, and 5.
He got one. He only got 1 kill there. I guess he got some assist gold too from using the traps on everybody when they were chasing out.
I mean, it looks like he's been getting a lot of value out of the Ancients as well.
Yeah, so. that too. They were definitely smart about it.
Sneaky with the double damage. Infamous going to try a quick Roshan here with this smoke. Really good timing. Cuckoo. Oh, Cuckoo. This is both bad and really good timing for him to pop in the pit. He may just instant die. Does manage to get off the press attack. Runs himself away. He's good. He spoils Roshan a bit, but it looks like they're still going to try it out here. It's low enough. TNC are coming forward. Sam H, he's going to be able to get the vacuum wall. That's a big one. Still, Infamous goes straight for the Roshan pit. They will manage to pick up the Aegis. King Tekka, he buys the rest of his team time, but it is going to cost them dual damage onto Cuckoo. Excel comes forward. The target of Tims has the amplified damage on him. These zombies are slowing things down pretty heavily, and it looks like it may just be an Undying. Imprisoned up, slowed down, is going to be caught. And so, maybe more. Infamous, what are you doing? I thought they were just going to leave that Undying, but now they're going to be chased down. Tim's coming in, has the crush ready to go, has a Blink Dagger coming up soon. Excel, nice try with the Invis. Not going to be able to survive through that corrosive haze. And a big spin coming out from Benches, but Jesus, that's surrounded by heroes. Hope he doesn't get bashed, because that would look real poor by him if he added yet another kill to TNC after what should have been a quick and clean Roshan exchange. Maybe changing away 2 supports for an Aegis, or rather a Weaver and an Undying for an Aegis, that would have been great, but they lost some extra heroes on top of it.
Who needs creeps when you can just fight the entire game?
Apparently, they're going to go for Shrine here. Stinger, Jesus, that physical damage almost pops him, gets off a couple of spells, but it's still going to be the 2 cores. Look to be able to chase down Cuckoo. Cuckoo does have a little bit more toggling going on and will be able to get the Surge away. It's Slardar who dies instead. Rior, he's going to be caught. Templar Assassin, 3 shots him, quick and easy. So on the way out, they're still able to catch a couple of heroes. Both of these teams just extending a bit too far, it seems, chasing down these kills and just run back past tier 1s and shrines like they're no big deal, like they aren't TP points.
We were literally saying these 2 teams share a lot of similarities, and they're pretty much mimicking each other with their dives and with everything that's going on in this game. It's really fun to watch.
We're going to have a Blink Dagger soon on Legion Commander. That will be huge for Cuckoo.
Yeah.
A lot of extra pick-off.
Almost BKB on the TA, so that'll help a lot for the fights.
Yeah.
Not going for the Deso Rush. He has the Blightstone, but doesn't feel the need to go for the Desolator yet.
Do you agree
just
with
kidding.
that?
He switched it. Yep. I was about to say, not sure if I really agree with that because he has an Aegis anyway, so I think getting like the most out of the Aegis with the Deso is great, but they already got one on the Weaver, so maybe that's what's putting him off.
Oh, yeah, I guess I can kind of get down to it. Speaking of, King Tekka actually fallen a little bit farther behind than he was before. He was looking good to be able to pick up fast Lincolns. Looks like that last fight around the Roshan pit slowed him down a bit.
They know something's up. They broke the smoke on the Darks here. Now, yep, they scan right away, and they know that everyone is there in position. King Tekka scouting out.
Well, you don't want to keep forcing this, right? Is TNC not against an Aegis?
So let's see. Did he pick up? He did pick up the Deso. So we got 2 Desolators on the side of Infamous.
That's not a big deal, though, right? The overlapping Desos. Do you feel like that's one of those items?
It's the fact that they both pick it up at the exact same time might hurt a little bit.
Whoa!
But
King Tekka gets jumped up. They didn't actually counter ward this ward. King Tekka may just get bursted down to the duel, and they do manage to get the win. But Jesus, they're in so deep and so close together. This spin's going to be able to do so much damage. Crystal Maiden, let it go, Excel, let it go. TNC, they just got ripped apart, all for a Weaver kill. Oh, the Weaver wasn't worth it. TNC, they lose 3 of all that.
Again, Stinger with the tombstone positioning. Like,
yeah.
Flesh Golem, everybody was so clumped up on top of him with the Flesh Golem, so 20% max damage amp with a Deso TA beating on you, with a Juggernaut spinning on you, and a CM multi on top. More than enough damage to clean up the 3 heroes. I'm surprised they didn't get Raven as well.
I'm just dumbfounded by
Dude,
that.
right?
TNT are just like, that wasn't tunnel vision. That was something else. Like, that's something I've never seen before. They're just like, all focus, King Tekka. Doesn't matter. We'll 5-man ball into that. It's like they snowballed in. Like, literally, like, Tusk, just 6 hero appeared and snowballed all those 5 heroes together.
He almost, like, I want to say that he got the mech off before he died, because I'm pretty sure he got bursted through anyway, but he almost survived. It was like 0.1 second, and he was going to get that time lapse off, and it would have been all for naught. It would have been 0 for 3 or 4, if not worse.
What happened to our Templar Assassin? Why are you out here, buddy?
Wait, what?
The rest of your team's up here. I assumed that this was where you would be. And if you're not here, then maybe you're jungle. Why the hell are you in the enemy's jungle?
I thought he was. He just top. What?
You know.
Well, that's the Aegis, and he dies.
Infamous works in mysterious ways, man.
These guys are just non-stop battling. Like they're like, we're getting a tower. I want more. Tower not enough. I need to get 4 kills while you get the tower by myself. I'm gonna go make a solo play.
Like, what is this play? Like, what level of greed do you have to be to say taking this tier 2 isn't good enough for me?
He must have expected, like, I don't know, like someone maybe just to be farming there by themselves while the rest of them were setting up for the top, and he gets like a solo pick off while that happens with the CM. But he gets turned on by pretty much a whole team. And it's right next to a shrine, so they can all TP there too. And it was used while he was fighting them. So that's a pretty, definitely a bizarre place to fight. But that's something just to get, you get back used to, like, to this patch. It's still a pretty new patch. Sometimes you can it falls out of your mind for a moment, and that's what can happen. You're like, oh, I can get a free pick. Oh my God, there's a shrine here. He full healed, and now they turned with 3 heroes. So just comfort into the patch and just,
Well, that's going to cost him his, what should have been a very rapid Deso BKB timing.
Yeah.
That would have been big for him. Not have to worry so much about these ion shells, some of these stuns, the imprisonment. Just allow him to be able to quickly go on one hero without any disruption. That's when the TA really reaches that big peak, right? It's the 3-item timing.
Yeah.
For TA.
Very similar to a lot of heroes. I feel have that like 3-item timing. Like,
yeah.
So 1 item is okay. 2 is great, but the 3rd one it's just like boom. It's such an acceleration. Like, it's the Darks here. Like, mech is amazing. That's one thing though. Like, Arcanes are great, Mech's great, Guardian Gear is great. Blink Dagger, boom. Like those big items. It always.
Though he's going something a little bit different here.
Yeah, it looks like what, Atos maybe, or is he just gonna go Crimson Guard?
Yeah, Crimson Guard.
Yeah, Crimson Guard versus the all melee pretty much on the side of Infamous. And I think I want to say that I was reading that the Tombstone, if you have Crimson Guard block on you, you can like blink and stuff during it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm that's cool.
Fairly certain.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting reactions like that now with the Hood as well.
Yeah.
Let's see that quite a bit.
King Tekka.
Yeah, King Tekka is definitely the target here. And the rest of Infamous may be looping around to try and catch Cuckoo in mid. Cuckoo starts heading his way bottom. He's going to back up Raven. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Losing my camera here.
More items coming out. Nothing else coming out just yet for everybody else. The OD's close to his level 18. Same thing with most of the cores in this game right now.
One thing is TNC really seem to really lack a tower pusher.
Yes.
That's the exact opposite from Infamous. They've got double Desolator heroes.
The nice thing is, though, the support Slaughter is level 14. It's higher level than the Darkseer.
Cuckoo. He's going to be poked at here by King Tekka. Get a little bit of a warning shot there with Corrosive Haze, threatening that they could potentially turn around. There goes the Surge, Sam H. Now they're going to be able to get the duel. Singer just gets popped like that. You could see the whole entire time TNC was trying to set up some sort of potential turnaround, and the Templar Assassin wasn't even near. Templar Assassin went Ancients, and the rest of the team kept going. So, again, Infamous seemed to be on two different pages here. Doing well in this game, but they'd be doing so much better if they just committed to the same playbook.
I mean, committed is a good word for it. They were committed to try to do something there, but yeah, having your Undying in the front lines like that, that's honestly what's going to happen. You're kind of asking for it when you do that. He's going to get dueled, and if your Undying goes down in that situation like that, the fight's very hard to take. Mid lane,
Assassin got caught.
They're making a lot of individual plays, and it's this is where you see a couple of things happen when teams are a little bit more inexperienced, is they start to like segregate and separate a bit instead of playing completely coordinated, and that's what's going to happen. Some pickoffs that shouldn't be happening all around the map. And Roshan respawns. How
Good
ideal.
Timing. They got a regen rune for their troubles. Not quite the double damage that would be nice to have, but, Ice Frog helping out TNC quite a bit here.
Yeah. But
they
are in the area.
Close enough to be able to do a little tombstone shenanigans, get some decays out. There is actually a lot of small harassing abilities here that TNC may not feel comfortable being able to fight around. The Omni Slash goes, okay, TNC backing themselves away. Benji's coming forward, has the Omni Slash ready to go. Will throw it out here for 5 heroes. Looks like a duel is actually going to go down to King Tekka. Once again, they catch him, and they almost pop him. There it is. Finally, the right click does go down. Nice save on a Cuckoo as well with the imprisonment. What a combination there from TNC. Stinger, he's easily going to be going down here. Run down by the Corrosive Haze. And it looks like Tim's is thinking about just going for more, but they do have the Templar Assassin up. Don't think there's any way that Infamous can possibly go back inside that pit. They tried to make that fight happen without the Templar Assassin, and they lose 2 heroes for their troubles, and they're very rapidly losing their pretty good gold and experience lead that they had once upon a time.
Yeah, I think it was a beautiful play by TNC, though. They forced the fight away from the Tombstone, so Infamous chases. They don't have Tomb. They kill the zombies off, great vacuum onto the high ground, and TNC claims high ground and just takes the engagement from there with Slardar, with vacuum, getting a multiple hero crush, lots of different nukes. They don't have the teamfight potential from Infamous in comparison to TNC's. We said it during the draft, too. TNC has the better teamfight lineup.
BKB activated, but our Templar Assassin doesn't really have any help. But Crystal Maiden's coming along. We'll be able to slow down some of these heroes. They turn. There goes the duel, holding in the TA. The Weaver's coming in from the side, but they've already lost their big core. The rest of TNC is still looking healthy enough. Excel, he's going to go down to the side to Raven and all his nukes, and Benjes as well as the Weaver. They just can't possibly output the damage necessary to kill TNC, not against the sustain of a mech and a Crimson Guard.
Yeah, this is where we also mentioned this in the draft a bit too, like the sustain that comes out from the OD Dazzle and everything. Everyone's full mana. Look at this push. It doesn't even look like a fight just happened because Dazzle's able to just non-stop spam the Shadow Wave. They even have press the attack on top. Darkseer full mana just spamming Ion Shells and everything for himself. This is where TNC has a nice little timing window to get some good damage on this Tier 3. They have 90 dual damage too, so he's pretty good at pushing towers now with this.
Yeah, and he's only going to scale more and more, it seems. Man, I really like that Legion Commander OD combination that we saw there. The way where Cuckoo's been so good about focusing King Tekka, and he just hasn't gotten his Lincolns this whole entire time. Like, he just keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And now we're going to get a catch here. King Tekka, slowed down a little bit by Tims. Cuckoo does manage to get that duel, and that will be another win.
Just like you said.
108 victory damage. They're going to try and maybe catch somebody here in mid, but he needs his team. You can't just blink out like this by yourself. Team, come forward. Help me. Help. Stop spam.
He was like, I want to.
I don't know how many situations I see like Infamous. Like, that's a prime opportunity, right? There's multiple heroes in the secret shop, so TA thinks, oh, maybe we can go on this. But the rest of the heroes are kind of like lagging behind near this Tier 2, feeling uncomfortable pushing out. because Juggernaut's in the top lane. He's trying to push that out. Like, they just all on a different page.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. Since like the early game, it just seems like a little bit of communication stuff seems to be Infamous's problem for sure in comparison to TNC. But TNC also just has the ridiculous team fight composition that enables it to just make it a little bit easier for them. And Raven's so massive now.
Yeah.
There's like
He's a big boy.
There's no real like int heroes on the side of Infamous too. So that OD ult is pretty painful.
It's a gigantic nuke. What is this guy sitting at right now? Intelligence 75 plus 65. What is that? 140.
Yep.
So
he's got like 100 more int than most of them, or like 80 more int than most of them.
yeah. I wish there was a easier way to look at this. 51 for CM. What do we got? Undying.
Hey, he's got
71.
Yeah. He's got quite a good amount over them, so it's at least a 700 damage, about a 600, 700 damage nuke without the Veil and without any Arcane Orbs stacked, so that's pretty massive already. And King Tech is not building for a BKB, he's going for the Lincolns, which I think he kind of needs to anyway. Versus this
I mean, his tool is just destroying him.
The Weave,
All right.
49 armor, 50 armor, blinks out, reset. Take out these shrines.
Yeah, TNC, when it matters, they seem to have a lot more coordination, seem to be a lot more disciplined there. Didn't get, like, that was the only way that Infamous could really gain that game back, right? Is that if they somehow lured TNC into their base,
I can't believe after
those shines.
Can't believe after the early game and all the scrappy fights we're saying discipline.
Yeah.
But it's true. They do definitely have more discipline.
Duel, but does manage to get off the Ghost Scepter. Stinger might just be able to at least not get the dual damage out, or not. It'll still do it. And TA trying to do some pretty dramatic things, like cut the creep wave real quickly. Tim's is already there, though.
Oh,
so GG.
They're just gonna call it. I think it was hard too. Like they were trying to take all these like scrappy engagements and stuff and force fights, but TNC's lineup overall, it's so good at team fighting. It really is. Like the Darkseer, the Slardar, those two alone, incorporated with the OD on top. It's so much burst damage too. It's a lot of nuke. I really like this Veil pickup from the OD this game. I don't always like it, but versus the TA with the Legion Commander, we saw what difference it made in the mid lane. That Astral with the Legion nuke, it was just like boom, 700 damage to everybody in the area, and you kind of like you forget about those kind of like small things. Like you're so concentrated on getting a kill that the Astral comes up and you all just die. You're like, yeah, that just happened.
That was probably one of the really big turn points there, because if they actually kill the OD, like there's so many other things that could have happened there. But as a whole, TNC, I mean, they had a lead at one point in time, and if they get their acts together a little bit more, we could definitely see them come back and take game 2 for sure.
Oh, Infamous, yeah.
Or Infamous, yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was, like we said, these two teams look very, very similar. TNC looks like they have a little bit more better communication and team synergy overall, but Infamous did look, you could tell there was just like signs of disconnection. Like Benjus was alone, they all had TPs, they didn't help him. It seemed to happen like a couple times where...
that was actually one of the more befuddling moments where I was just like, the TPs are coming, right?
Yeah, and then like the one where they're all chasing 4-man and the TA just goes, he's like, screw this, I'm just going to go do Ancients. You could tell there's definitely some sort of disconnection from there. So hopefully they fix it for the next game and so it works out for them.
All right, well, we'll take a break. Infamous certainly need one. We'll be back. this is just something else, especially with these two teams.
Nobody hit creeps.
Nobody hit creeps.
The laning phase happened, and then it was run at you Dota for a good 20 minutes.
And then it just, when you play that aggressive, eventually one team is going to get a little bit sloppier.
Yep.
And they just fall apart. Because there is no hitting the brakes.
There are no brakes. The car has no brakes. It was a small mistake.